Good evening and a very warm welcome to your television Tonga News package for tonight. Making headlines, Dafolosa Plumfield sentenced to 4 years and 4 months imprisonment with 1 year suspension. 70% of Class 3 students are still unable to master their reading skills expected. And life rescuers at the Whaimato Airport this morning carry out its biannual drill. These and more stories later on in this bulletin, together with the latest in sports and the weather forecast. I'm Fatai Whainga with your news for tonight. Tonga is among many third world countries that stand together to mark the International United Nations Day today, October 25th. Many donations and assistance from the United Nations, where Tonga is therefore one of the developing countries to mark a significant achievement in accomplishing its Millennium Development Goals. This week, the United Nations Development Programme is meeting government to formulate MDG acceleration projects for Tonga in the next 2 years. MDG acceleration plan is focused on MDG 6C, which is to combat the impact of NCDs in Tonga, in consideration with MDG 1, eradicate poverty and hunger. A poverty analyst will come from Suva to lead local project appraisal and formulation in consultation with government MDG task force. In a message from the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, he says United Nations Day is a chance to recognize how much this invaluable organization contributes to peace and common progress. It is a time to reflect on what more we can do to realize our vision for a better world. Millions of people depend on UN humanitarian personnel for life-saving assistance. He adds the most urgent development challenge is to make sustainability a reality. The Millennium Development Goals have cut poverty in half. Now we must maintain the momentum, graft an eagerly inspiring post-2015 development agenda, and reach an agreement on climate change. This year again, we saw the United Nations, says the Secretary General, come together on armed conflict, human rights, the environment, and many other issues. They continue to show what collective action can do, and they can even do more. In a world that is more connected, he adds, they must be more united. Ban Ki-moon on United Nations Day, let us pledge to live up to our founding ideals and work together for peace, development, and human rights. Justice Charles Cater this morning sentenced Dafolosa Plumfield to 4 years and 4 months imprisonment with 1 year suspension. Mrs. Plumfield was convicted for embezzlement of more than 204,000 pa'anga while working as a senior travel consultant at the Forum Travel on the Air New Zealand. This happened during the period of September 2009 to March 2010. She will be in prison for 3 years and 4 months dated to August 28th when remanded under police custody. Aminia Sikefu was the Crown Prosecutor while Bosesi Plumfield appeared on behalf of the accused. About 70% of Class 3 students are still unable to master their reading skills expected. The statement was made by the Honourable Minister of Education and Training, Dr. Ana Tauwhi'olongaki, while opening the 20th meeting of heads of education systems in the region in Nuku'alofa. She stressed to the higher education officials that she's not confident to say whether Tonga has made progress in education or not. Sinlando was there and filed this report.
The Minister of Education and Training, Dr. Ana Tauwhi'olongaki, told the meeting that the results of tests and assessments on children's literacy and numeracy shows no improvement. The indicator used to test the students' literacy is the Tonga Early Grade Assessment.
From where I'm standing, where I'm answerable to all these stakeholders, I cannot say to any of them with confidence that Tongan education has made significant progress, because the data we have indicate that we have not moved very far. The TECRA instrument to measure early grade reading that we developed with the assistance of the World Bank showed that something like 70% by Class 3 are still unable to master the reading skills expected at that level. The same figures show up in our own standardized tests for Classes 4 and 6 in literacy and numeracy. Most worrying of all is the fact that we appear to be regressing instead of improving.
She also told the gathering that she has not proven any difference in the performance and achievements of the students inside the classroom.
Of course, we can happily tick the boxes in our various plans, but I'm not seeing the results where I would like to see the real difference. That is, in the performance and achievements of students in classrooms. That is the missing link. We do not know enough of what is going on in our Tongan classrooms, about the interactions of the student and the teacher, and the teaching and learning processes that occur in classroom. That is why Tonga is now collaborating with the World Bank on Pearl, which you will hear about later on in the week, to ensure that our young students come to the formal education process ready to learn. With Cognition New Zealand for systems improvement, precisely to identify and address the missing elements in student and teacher classroom interactions.
The Minister of Education believes that the programs mentioned will help improve students' academic results. For Television Tonga News, I'm Sini Latu.
The Magistrate Court yesterday released on bail two Asian accused of using forged Tongan passports to depart Tonga. Magistrate Similoni Tuakalau bailed Min Wang and Nayan Zheng yesterday. They are on bail with 2,000 pa'anga each with two sureties, and they are not allowed to travel outside the country. The Asian women, Min Wang, was accused of arriving in the Whamato airport on Friday, October 11th with a Chinese passport and later used a forged Tongan passport to depart Tonga last Tuesday, October 15th. Meanwhile, Nayan Zheng was also charged for abetting to commit a crime. Both the accused were arrested on the same day. They will reappear at the Magistrate Court next Monday. The accused legal counsel is William Clive Edwards Jr. and Aminia Sekefu is the Crown Prosecutor. The Parliament's ordinary session today continued discussions on the Constitution Amendment Act No. 4, 2013. Parliamentarians this morning provided their opinion on the Act, which was submitted to the House by Tongatapu People's Representative of Constituency No. 5, Dr. Isaac Eke. Sini Latu with more.
The People's Representative of Tongatapu 7 and Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries, Forestry and Food, Sengsta Saulala, conveyed his opinion on the Act, saying that despite the differences in their parliamentary role, but they are working towards one goal, and that is to cater for the public. He takes, for instance, the 1 million pa'anga assistance put aside by the government to assist the agricultural industry, the benefit scheme for the elderlies, assistance towards schools, road maintenance, and many others. Meanwhile, the People's Representative for Tongatapu Constituency No. 10, Semisi Tapueluelu, says this is the aim of Tonga's democratic transition in the previous years, is for the Legislative Assembly to decide on any matter that concerns the public instead of seeking approval from other parties. In the meantime, the MP for Tongatapu 9, Fali Situpo, says he supported the motion for the people to elect the Prime Minister, but in a statement from the Honourable Minister of Commerce, Tourism and Labour, Dr. Williami Latu, he says it is important that they step into the process of the transition slowly, especially with the amendments made to the Constitution. These statements were made in regards of the Tongatapu No. 5, Dr. Isaac Eke's proposal to the House.
Committee of the Parliamentarians for Global Action, known as BTA, has selected the Tongatapu People's Representative No. 1, Akilisi Pohiva, as the Man of the Year in defending of democracy. A letter from the committee of the PTA has invited Pohiva to join a special dinner in Bogota, Colombia on December 9th, 2013, where the committee, in honor of the Tongatapu No. 1 parliamentarian, will directly present him his award. The event will take place during the PTA's 35th Annual Forum in Bogota, Colombia. The theme for this year is Peace Building in Ending Armed Violence and Trafficking. It will be held on December 9th until the 10th. Meanwhile, Speaker of the House was also invited together with a delegation from the Parliament of Tonga to attend the Bogota conference. The Parliament this morning approved the invitation where the Speaker will attend the conference together with other free parliamentarians. The assistance made by the Asian Development Bank towards road maintenance in Tonga has benefited low-lying areas in the kingdom to reduce flooding. This is made possible through the close and long-standing ties of the government and the Asian Development Bank. Fonolabe Koso reports.
The Asian Development Bank projects in Tonga include constructing of water drainage in low-lying areas in Nuku'alofa and the main roads. This is according to the CEO of the Ministry of Infrastructure, Ringo Fa'oliu. Work towards the drainage in Nuku'alofa is to help reduce the problems of flooding. However, the drainage helps drain water when it rains to the ocean. ADB also fund maintenance works to some of the main roads in Tongatapu, including the Taufa'ahau-Waha'akolo and Bypass Road. Lack of funding sometimes hinders some of the development work in Tonga. ADB's project in Tonga is estimated to the tune of 12 to 13 million US. He adds majority of this work is expected to be completed towards the end of the year. For Television Tonga News, I am Fonolabe Koso.
The public are aware of the right food they need to obtain to remain healthy with a longer life expectancy, but cannot be able to consume it due to its high costs. This is according to the head of the Public Health Division of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Malakai Anke, during a televised program on Television Tonga. Linda Filiai with more on that story.
The government take the lead in an attempt to make easier access to healthy and affordable food by approving the amendments made to Tonga's law toward decreasing some of the healthy food tariffs, such as tin fish and vegetable oils, while increasing costs of fatty and unhealthy food. The head of the Public Health Division of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Malakai Ake, says the initiative is to enable locals to access the right food at all times. Everyone knows the consequences of consuming fatty foods, but they continue buying it. Everyone understands that fresh fish and seafood are very expensive and are not affordable at times. This prompted the idea to amend the law to reduce the risk of NCTs. He adds in the past years, many lives were claimed by communicable diseases, including tuberculosis, to name a few. But nowadays, most people lost their lives due to non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and other diseases. Animal fats are risky to human lives because it obtains high cholesterol, which can block blood vessels in humans' body. So it is important to make people aware that vegetable oil is better than products made out of animal fats. The Health Ministry is also looking at more amendments to make toward decreasing the tariff of vegetable and fruits in Tonga. For Television Tonga News, I'm Linda Filiai.
The life rescuers at the Whāmotu Airport need to be prepared at all times for any disaster or accident occurs at the airport. This initiates a one-day drill exercise for the staff and members of the Whāmotu International Airport this morning. Anasi Falikaono with the details.
Speaking to Radio and Television Tonga News, the CEO of Tonga Airport Limited, Viliamema Ake, says despite Tonga rarely faces any hazard or man-made disaster, but it is important that we remain ready to address such problems at all times. He says it is useless to carry out their best in this series of training without the help of passengers. Developed countries had experienced plane crash, and what is important in this drill is good communication and cooperation system between the workers and any incoming or outgoing passengers from Tonga. That is why we have prepared a strategic plan to follow up if a disaster occurs. He says one of the challenges faced are the lack of resources to overcome such problem. We cannot say that we are confident from this training and that we can be able to handle any problems, because if a 200-seater plane faced any problem in Tonga, the capacity of the hospital cannot accommodate all passengers, nor any assistance provided by the Tonga Airport Limited. The biannual program was attended by representatives from the Tonga Defence Services, Tonga Police, Ministry of Health, Tonga Red Cross Society and others. For Television Tonga News, I'm Anasi Falikaono.
And that's the local news. Sports is up next with Pierre Oli.